This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Thank you for joining us at 7. Rain is settling into central Indiana.
Let's check in with Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory for a look at how long this will last. Hey, Kevin.
And it looks like into the morning hours tomorrow, but gone pretty quickly after that. I'm tracking northwest of Indianapolis where the heavier rain is at this point. Not real heavy, but coming down Williamsport, Attica to Vedersburg and Covington in Fountain County. As you go toward Lafayette and Peru, Frankfort up to Peru, that will be the most likely area over the next hour that continues. This is an expanding area of rain just north between Terre Haute and Rockville. Will continue to move to the north and east. Notice what we don't have much rain south of I-70 yet. This whole area will sag to the south as we go through the evening hours as the warm air lifts to the north. 52 in Bloomington, 36 in Peru, 39 in Lafayette. Temperatures anywhere south of Columbus to the Ohio River in the 50s. Metro area temperatures will continue to climb. We'll add about 4 or 5 degrees by the time we get to 11 o'clock. 9 to 11, rain continues. Then by morning, starting to exit southeast Indiana.
A woman is feeling a dire need, she says, for families of gun violence victims in Anderson. She says when her son was killed, she had nowhere to turn.
Now, as RTV6's Stephanie Wade explains, she's starting a support group of her own.
Sandy Stapleton's son Tommy was shot to death in an alley near downtown Anderson. No way to cope with her grief, she sought out support groups, but says she couldn't find any nearby that specifically worked with friends and family of gun violence victims. Her solution was to start Tommy's Voice.
Our church has a grief group, so I tried going to it. Felt very out of place.
Stapleton feels she tried everything. She went to her church's grief group, but says no one could relate to losing a child to murder. Then she tried Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, but says the closest chapter was in Muncie, and they didn't serve as much as a support group, but rather advocacy. Through her group, named Tommy's Voice, after her son, she plans on bringing counselors and experts in to speak to families of gun violence victims, lending an ear, a shoulder to cry on, and resources if they need it.
Someone else took their life. I mean, it wasn't out of a sickness that you can prepare yourself for, or even a car accident, you know, because that to me would be an act of God. And if someone else pulls the trigger, then that's not an act of God. That's an act of someone else.
Someone took him from you.
Correct. So taking him versus just dying, I think that's where I feel different.
Group meetings are scheduled the third Thursday of every month. The first meeting is this Thursday. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, that meeting begins at 6 p.m. Thursday at Crossroads United Methodist Church in Anderson. For more details or contact information, you can head over to our website at theindychannel.com.
RTV6 is also taking a look at Indianapolis organizations that are working to find solutions to ongoing violence in the city. To do that, they are taking a closer look at some of the root causes of violent crime. Pastor Kenneth Sullivan Jr. began the group called Saves on the East Side. It is designed to take action against poverty by bringing in resources and creating opportunities in struggling neighborhoods.
So that young men and young women would not even have a desire to do some of what they see in the streets, because we're exposing them to a whole new world of opportunity for their careers, for their future.
And Dr. Wallace McLaughlin leads the Fathers and Family Center. He works to pull fathers out of struggling neighborhoods, teaching them how to be parents and providers. But he says the center's programs can only work if change is happening in the community as well.
We do our work, but we only have them for a short time, and then they will constantly need support. It takes a new community to help change old behavior.
The Fathers and Family Center offers a 3-week class for expectant fathers. The course is free and attendees get a stipend for transportation.
Another group called Circle Up Indy holds the Indy Peace Festival every year. Founder James Wilson stopped by RTV6 today. We asked what his group is doing to help stop the cycle of violence.
We're really focusing on hitting hard on economics. We're moving away from program-based. Not that the programs are not important, they are, but there's so many partners that we work with to kind of get people into programs. But we're hitting hard on the key things, housing and jobs and many others, making sure they have a stable life and look for self-sustainability in the future.
Well, Wilson also spoke about fear in the communities impacted by violence and how some residents are even afraid to go outside.
They're not happy. They're scared. You know, you don't know if you walk outside what's going to happen. And most of the time, a lot of situations are targeted, you know, but families are scared. They don't know what's actually going on out here. They don't want their kids to get hurt. They don't want to be on TV talking about the loved ones that they lost. The law enforcement and the politicians only come in the aftermath. So after the shooting happened, you get a phone call. They can't predict what's going to happen. It's on us because we know what happens. We see what takes place, and we see the lead-ups to each situation.
And we are more than halfway through February, and Indianapolis law enforcement has recorded 33 homicides. That is 17 more than this time last year, and it well outpaces the number of homicides at this time in 2018 and 2017. Right now on the RTV6 News app and the IndyChannel.com, you can find this map. Our digital team keeps track of each homicide, so you know what is happening in your neighborhood. We have a map of all the homicides in Indianapolis in 2020. We show you where they've happened down to the street.
A mother is going viral with her safety message following a tragedy that killed her 18-year-old son. Anita Howard created this video talking about the dangers of grain bins. Her son died in a grain bin accident near Terre Haute in November. The video has been shared more than 5,000 times. She wants farmers to be careful and have a rescue plan in place.
It will be on someone's mind when they're in that bin and they recognize a problem. You know, I want them to think back to this handsome young man who was just 18 years old, and a split decision claimed his life.
Anita hopes to eventually bring her message to larger groups of future farmers at this year's FFA convention. Now to the latest on the global threat of the coronavirus. Today, more charter flights with infected Americans landed in the U.S., and health officials are trying to track down other potentially contaminated people. ABC's Trevor Ault shows you how the World Health Organization hopes to contain the spread of the virus.
Today, more Americans possibly infected with the coronavirus are back on U.S. soil being kept in isolation. Planes arriving in Omaha, Nebraska, with ambulances waiting to transport 13 people who are considered high risk for the COVID-19 virus. 12 of them were taken to a quarantine unit, but one patient who was exhibiting symptoms was taken to the hospital's biocontainment unit for closer observation.
These individuals were brought here because we have the personnel, we have the facilities, we have the resources and the expertise to handle these kind of individuals.
Those patients had been aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan. They were kept isolated aboard 2 charter planes overnight, which transported 300 passengers from the ship to military bases in Northern California and San Antonio, Texas. Those passengers not diagnosed with the virus now being kept under quarantine at the bases for the next 2 weeks. Around the world, health officials are now trying to track down hundreds of potential infected passengers from a different cruise ship in Cambodia. An American who had been on board now diagnosed with the virus 1 day after they disembarked. That American, one of more than 71,000 cases of coronavirus around the globe. The death toll approaching 1,800 people. But officials with the World Health Organization, which has declared a global health emergency, say they're trying to be careful not to stoke fear.
The risk is very high in China, it is high regionally, and it is high around the world. That is not the risk is high of a pandemic. The risk is high that the disease may spread further.
There's now been confirmed cases of coronavirus in 25 different countries, but of the 71,000 people who have been confirmed to be infected, less than 1,000 have been outside of China. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
Kokomo is the next Indiana city to get a Safe Haven baby box. The box will be installed at the Kokomo Fire Department Station 1 on West Superior Street, but no date has been announced. The baby boxes are designed to allow people to anonymously give up an unwanted infant without fear of being arrested or prosecuted. The 21 boxes in Indiana have temperature control, and an alarm is triggered as soon as a baby is left in the box. So far in Indiana, 5 babies have been surrendered since the first Safe Haven box was installed in 2016.
Coming up here on RTV6, police say a tainted cupcake played a key role in a plot to kidnap a woman's baby. Now more mothers are coming forward.
But first, healthcare is taking center stage as the Democratic presidential hopefuls battle for support in Nevada.
All 6 investigates Tuesday night at 6.
We are just 5 days away from the next presidential contest in Nevada, and the battles are brewing between candidates competing in that state's caucuses and one who is not. Senator Bernie Sanders appears to be the favorite to win this coming Saturday's vote, but former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is among those targeting Sanders and his Medicare for All plan. Sanders narrowly had more overall votes than Buttigieg in Iowa and New Hampshire, but Buttigieg says he does not believe Sanders' health care message will win enough mainstream votes in November to get to the White House.
And this is just one example of an issue where we have this my way or the highway politics that suggests to people that, if you're not with me, you must be against me. If you're not for the revolution, you must be for the status quo. And I think most of us don't see ourselves in that picture.
Meanwhile, Sanders is also pushing back against the campaign of billionaire Mike Bloomberg. The former New York City mayor is not competing in Nevada or the South Carolina primary that follows, but Bloomberg is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising, and the state's holding Super Tuesday primaries on March 3rd.
No response yet from the Justice Department to the growing calls for Attorney General Bill Barr to resign. More than 1,100 former DOJ officials and prosecutors have reportedly signed onto a statement saying Barr must step down. The statement says Barr is, quote, doing the president's personal bidding and damaging the Justice Department's reputation. The letter was a response to Barr getting involved in the federal case against Roger Stone, a longtime ally of President Trump.
Coming up, a mother says her baby was almost kidnapped by a woman pretending to be a photographer. Why police are now searching for other possible victims.
And rising temperatures at this hour. Will be warmer tomorrow morning when you wake up than it is right now. We'll move from the mid-40s to nearly 50 degrees overnight.
Use disorders, treatment, and recovery.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
New at 7, a disturbing kidnapping case out of Washington State. A woman and her daughter allegedly posed as photographers to try to kidnap a baby.
They are accused of drugging the baby's mother. ABC's Romina Puga shows you how that happened and why more possible victims are coming forward.
Police say this Colorado woman accused of posing as a newborn photographer in a plot to kidnap an infant may have tried to lure multiple new mothers by posting this Facebook ad for free photo sessions to build up her portfolio.
Hey, everybody.
Juliet Parker, seen in this campaign video from a failed mayoral run in Colorado Springs, is charged with drugging a single mom and attempting to take her baby. Parker's 16-year-old daughter also arrested. The victim tells law enforcement she agreed to a photo session with Parker, who offered her a cupcake. But immediately after eating it, she became ill and disoriented. The victim says she then called 911 and kicked Parker and her daughter out of her home.
Basically, she was drugged. They put drugs in a cupcake. She ate it for an attempt to take her kid.
The victim told police before leaving, Parker took selfies with her baby, wiped her fingerprints off everything she touched, and stole her house keys.
She wanted a girl, and she wanted him 5 weeks younger so she could raise it herself.
For Amanda Appling, the allegations against Juliet Parker hit close to home.
I was completely appalled. I was like, that could have been me.
Appling responded to the same Facebook post in December to get photos of her newborn son.
She informed me that she wasn't looking for a boy at the time, but that she would save his picture and let me know later on if she was looking for a little boy.
Victoria Morris also says Parker took these maternity photos of her.
I'm really, really upset and scared because she had my address and she's been in my home.
Parker was released from custody on a $50,000 bond on Sunday afternoon. A court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday, and detectives are looking into other mothers Parker may have been in contact with. Romina Puga, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Plymouth Rock, which marks the place where pilgrims from the Mayflower landed 400 years ago, was vandalized over the weekend, as you see there. It's now covered in red graffiti. Several other nearby landmarks were also vandalized, including a stone bench and a statue. Massachusetts authorities haven't released any information about possible suspects. This year, Plymouth is celebrating the 400th anniversary of the Pilgrims Landing.
Warm winter temperatures in the Pyrenees Mountains have resulted in a lack of snow for the region. One French ski resort in particular had snow delivered via helicopter. Snow deliveries are scheduled through the week to supply snow to areas designated for children and novice skiers.
I wonder how much it costs.
To airlift snow.
Right.
Not the best scenario, is it? For us, it's been a snowless winter. I always say all weather's local, right? It's what's happening for you. And it's another rain event on the way and in progress. Terre Haute to nearly Crawfordsville, Greencastle, Cloverdale. That's the southern edge of the rain so far. We've had light showers in the metro area, but it's been more consistent and a little heavier off to the north and west. That will drop to I-70 and then south of Interstate 70 as we go through the overnight. The temperature won't drop. It'll actually rise. 45 is the current mark in Indy, 42 in Muncie, almost 40 now in Lafayette and Tipton. So we are headed for rain overnight. Not worried about any wintry precipitation as we march through the evening hours or through the overnight. By 11 o'clock, about 46, fairly light rain in progress at the time. Wind will be out of the south at 10. That keeps the temperature rising. Rain chances will continue to climb too, peaking I'd say between midnight or 11 o'clock and about 4 a.m. Then the bulk of the moisture will start to push to the south and east and exit the state fairly early tomorrow. 9 o'clock, rain Terre Haute to Indy and Richmond, sliding south. That's 11 o'clock. And then, as you can see in the morning hours tomorrow, Seymour, Greensburg, Richmond with the organized rain. We may still have some spotty showers to the northwest. The wind will shift directions tomorrow, and that will start bringing in cooler temperatures. As far as rainfall potential, generally 1/4 of an inch. Some spots may see just a little bit more than that. Don't be overconfident in the morning. Don't dress for temperatures in the upper 40s. It'll feel good, but temperatures will be in the upper 30s in many spots by late in the day tomorrow. Temperatures start warm tomorrow, but fall. Then, as we go through Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday, highs in the 30s. It's a dry stretch of weather, and we'll enjoy sunshine with that as well. That'll be nice to see. Showers 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, southeastern portion of the state. The clouds may thin a bit through the day, but not looking at a lot in the way of sunshine. We'll call it mostly cloudy. Temperatures Wednesday with a lot more sunshine. Start colder at 27, and they'll end colder as well, 37 for the high. 7-day planner, we're still dry Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next chance of rain arrives Saturday night, Sunday. Monday as well. Temperatures back in the 40s during that Saturday through Monday stretch.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. In today's Health Minute, teachers who punish students in class may not get the good behavior they're seeking, according to a new study. Mary Gaither explains.
Bring the extra stuff.
Praise instead of punishment in the classroom. A new study suggests that is what will make elementary students stay more focused on their schoolwork and lessons. Researchers spent 3 years counting teacher praise and reprimands in more than 150 classrooms in 19 U.S. elementary schools. In half of those classrooms, teachers were told to teach as they typically did. In the other half, teachers were required to follow a behavioral intervention program in which teachers first teach children social skills through repetition, discussion, and role play. The teachers then formed student teams, praising the students with a verbal indication of approval when they followed those good social behaviors. The lead author of the research published in the journal Educational Psychology says, as elementary teachers' praise over punishment ratio increases, so does on-task behavior. He says the more a teacher praised and the less they scolded, the better focused students were on their lessons. Those who provided the most praise saw up to 30% more positive student behavior. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A live look from our Weather Now camera downtown, looking to the north at this 7 o'clock hour. 44 degrees. We're back with a final check of your forecast. Right after this, you're watching RTV6 News at 7.
No hoops. This is banking. A Fifth Third better.
Rascal Flatts is kicking off its farewell tour right here in central Indiana in June. Individual tickets that are not part of the previously announced mega ticket go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Rascal Flatts Farewell Life is a Highway tour is coming to Ruoff Music Center on Thursday, June 11th.
And you can ride like the wind to Brown County to catch Christopher Cross in concert at the Brown County Music Center in Nashville. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. for the Thursday, April 30th concert. Cross's career has spanned over 5 decades, has included hits like Sailing and Ride Like the Wind.
You know what his first album was named?
Oh, what's it called?
He just came right out with it, Christopher Cross.
Gets to the point, right.
1979. All right, showers around. You don't have to go back in history very far to find the last time we had rain. Chance of rain 70% tonight, 20% in the morning.
Get your umbrella. And thanks for joining us here tonight.
We'll see you at 11.